So many people live their entire lives chasing success, chasing fulfillment, chasing happiness, but never stop to ask the most important question of all. Who am I really? Not the version the world told you to be, not the image you've built to be accepted, loved, or respected, but the truth beneath the mask, the essence of who you are when no one is watching. Because every breakthrough in life, every transformation, every lasting change begins when you redefine your identity. Most people think their life is controlled by their environment, their circumstances, or their past. But the truth is, your life is defined by who you believe you are. You can't act consistently in a way that's different from your identity. If you see yourself as a struggler, even when opportunity knocks, you'll find a way to sabotage it. If you see yourself as broken, no amount of love or success will ever feel enough. You'll always find your way back to what feels familiar, not what's possible. See, identity is the thermostat of life. You can turn up your goals, raise your ambitions, and talk about change all you want. But if your identity is set too low, it'll pull you right back down to where you've always been. Some of you are frustrated not because you lack talent or effort, but because your identity hasn't caught up to your vision. You're trying to live a new life with an old mindset. You're trying to step into destiny while still carrying the labels of your history. But the moment you decide this is who I am now, everything changes. The power of identity is that it shapes behavior automatically. You don't have to force yourself to act like someone confident, disciplined, or driven when that's who you believe you are. It becomes natural. When you redefine your identity, your habits, your energy, your relationships, everything shifts. Think about it. The person who smokes says, I'm trying to quit. That's one level of identity. The other person says, I'm not a smoker. Same situation, different identity, and the second person doesn't have to try. Their behavior aligns automatically. You can't outperform your self-image, but you can change it. You can decide right now that you are no longer the person defined by fear, by other people's opinions, or by the limitations of your past. But let's be real. It's not easy, because your identity has roots. It's been shaped by years of experience, pain, rejection, and conditioning. Yeah, that from childhood you were told what you could or couldn't do, what you were worth, how you should behave. Maybe you grew up in an environment that made you feel small, invisible, or unworthy. And now, even as an adult, those invisible scripts are still running your life. You might say, that's just how I am. Yep, that's just who you've been trained to be. There's a part of you that's been buried under layers of fear, doubt, and expectation. That part of you knows there's more. You felt it in those moments of quiet frustration when you thought, this can't be all there is. That voice inside that keeps whispering you were made for more. That's your true identity, trying to break through. Redefining your identity isn't about becoming someone new. It's about stripping away everything that isn't you. It's about remembering the strength, passion, and greatness that were always there before life told you to play small. It's about reclaiming your power. When you start to say, I am more than my past, I am more than my mistakes, I am more than what happened to me, I am the creator of my life, something begins to ignite inside of you. You begin to operate from possibility, not limitation. You stop waiting for permission and start walking in conviction. Let me tell you something. You are not your story. You are the author of it. Too many people live trapped by the chapter they're in, forgetting that they hold the pen. You might have been hurt, abandoned, betrayed. But your past is not your prison unless you decide to live there. The world doesn't need another imitation. It needs your authenticity. So today, make a decision. Decide who you are. Decide what you stand for. Decide what your life is going to represent, because when you know who you are, you stop negotiating your worth. You stop chasing validation. You stop bending to fit into places you've outgrown. You were born for this moment. You were built for this season. And everything you've been through, every struggle, every setback, every storm, was preparing you to rise into the version of yourself that destiny has been waiting for. This is your moment. Redefine who you are. Claim it. Live it. Come it. Because your destiny is waiting for the real you to show up. Pain has a voice. It whispers in the quiet moments. It screams in the dark nights. It echoes in the spaces between what you hope for and what really happened. And for so many people, pain becomes the reason they stop. It becomes the excuse, the justification for living small, the evidence that says, I can't go any further. But the truth is, pain is not here to destroy you. It's here to develop you. Every wound carries a lesson. Every heartbreak carries a message. Every disappointment holds an invitation to rise, to evolve, to transform. The difference between those who stay broken and those who rise stronger isn't the pain they experience. It's what they decide to do with it. See, we all face moments that shake us to our core. Maybe it was the betrayal you never saw coming, the dream that collapsed, the person you loved who walked away, or the season where nothing made sense. Those moments can make you bitter, or they can make you better, or they can make you better. They can harden your heart or open your spirit, and it's in those defining moments that destiny whispers, "What will you do now?" Most people try to escape pain. They numb it, avoid it, suppress it, bury it under distraction or denial. But pain that's ignored doesn't disappear. It transforms into patterns. Patterns of fear, insecurity, hesitation, self-sabotage. The truth is, the very pain you're running from contains the power to set you free if you'll face it, feel it, and find the meaning inside it. Pain is life's most honest teacher. It doesn't lie to you. It strips away illusion. It exposes what's real. It shows you who you are when everything else is gone. Because when comfort leaves, character is revealed. When you've got nothing to hold on to but your faith, your will, your spirit, that's when you discover your true strength. Some of you have been praying for power but rejecting the process that produces it. You can't grow without resistance. You can't rise without pressure. The pain you feel today is shaping the version of you that tomorrow demands. It's preparing you for the weight of your purpose. If you skip the pain, you skip the preparation. There's something powerful that happens when you stop seeing pain as punishment and start seeing it as preparation. Fuck. Life isn't happening to you. It's happening for you. Every trial is training. Every tear is teaching. Every setback is setting you up for a greater comeback. It's not about the pain itself. It's about who you become through it. You have to stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What is this teaching me?" Because when you shift your question, you shift your power. The why keeps you stuck in the story. The what moves you into growth. Pain loses its control when you give it purpose. You turn your suffering into strength the moment you decide it will not be wasted. Some of the greatest leaders, creators, and changemakers didn't rise because life was easy for them. They rose because they turned their pain into power. They stopped letting their wounds define them and started letting them refine them. They realized that the very thing that tried to break them became the fuel that built them. And that's true for you too. The moments that broke your heart didn't come to kill your spirit. They came to awaken it. They came to awaken it. They came to show you that there's more inside of you than you ever imagined. You would never know how strong you really are if life didn't test you. You would never discover the depth of your resilience if you didn't face moments that demanded it. Pain introduces you to parts of yourself you didn't know existed. But here's the truth. You can't transform what you refuse to feel. So many people stay stuck because they numb the pain instead of healing it. They wear masks of strength while silently bleeding inside. But real power isn't pretending you're not hurting. It's having the courage to face the pain, to walk through it, and come out stronger on the other side. Healing isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's not the absence of pain, it's the mastery of meaning. You can't heal in the same environment that broke you. Sometimes you have to step away from the noise, from the people who keep you tied to your past, from the situations that keep reopening your wounds. You can't heal if you keep rehearsing the hurt. The more you replay the story, the more you reinforce the suffering. Healing begins the moment you decide, I will no longer let this moment define my life. And when you do that, when you finally take your pain and start shaping it into purpose, you become unstoppable. Because nothing can be taken from a person who has found meaning in their suffering. The power that comes from pain isn't physical, it's spiritual. It's a quiet confidence that says, I've walked through fire and I'm still standing. Sometimes your greatest ministry comes from your deepest misery. The thing that broke you might be the very thing that connects you to others, that helps you lift someone else out of their darkness. Pain gives you empathy, compassion, understanding. It breaks down pride and builds perspective. It connects us on a human level because every person, no matter how strong they look, carries a story of struggle. If you can turn your pain into purpose, you'll never see it as wasted again. You'll begin to see how every wound pushed you toward wisdom, how every loss made room for something greater that you'll begin to thank the pain for shaping you. Because without it, you wouldn't have developed the depth, the patience, the clarity you have now. Pain doesn't just challenge you, it changes your standard. It makes you say, never again. Never again will I tolerate less than I deserve. Never again will I stay silent when my soul is screaming. Never again will I live beneath my potential. Pain raises your standards because it wakes you up to who you really are. And listen, sometimes the hardest pain to endure is the pain of growth, the pain of letting go, the pain of becoming. But that's the pain that births transformation. The caterpillar has to struggle in the cocoon to butterfly. If someone cuts it open too soon, it never learns to fly. So don't despise the struggle. It's building your wings. There's a reason the storm didn't destroy you. There's a reason you're still here. You may have walked through hell, but you didn't stop. You may have been knocked down, but you got back up. You may have cried, but you didn't quit. That means something. That means destiny is not done with you yet. That means your story is not over. Stop defining yourself by what you went through and start defining yourself by what you overcame. You are not your pain. You are the strength that came from it. You are not your scars. You are the healing that followed. You are not your losses. You are the lessons that transformed you. So the next time pain shows up, and don't curse it. Don't run from it. Lean into it. Ask it what it's here to teach you. Let it stretch you, shape you, strengthen you. Because one day you'll look back and realize that the thing you thought would break you became you with the Lord. Pain is a gift wrapped in disguise. It may not feel like it now, but it's guiding you toward purpose. It's pulling you closer to the truth of who you are. The same fire that burns also refines. The same storm that shakes also strengthens. The same darkness that scared you also taught you how to shine. So when you find yourself in pain, don't ask for it to go away too quickly. Ask for the strength to grow through it. Ask for the wisdom to see beyond it. Because every ounce of pain you transform becomes power that no one can ever take from you. And that power, that inner fire, is what will carry you into your destiny. Because in the end, it's not the pain that defines you. It's what you do with it. Turn it into purpose. Turn it into power. Turn it into fuel for the life you were created to live. There comes a moment in life when you realize drifting isn't destiny. Hoping, wishing, waiting. They don't create transformation. If you want to live an extraordinary life, you can't keep leaving your future to chance. You've got to design it. Intentionally, deliberately, passionately. You've got to decide right here, right now, what kind of life you're going to live, what kind of legacy you're going to leave, and what kind of person you're going to become. That's what it means to design your future with unshakable clarity and action. Most people don't design their life. They accept it. They wake up reacting to the world instead of creating it. They live in patterns that were shaped by fear, by other people's expectations, by old beliefs about what's possible. And they wonder why every year feels like a repeat of the last. You can't keep repeating old patterns and expect new results. If you want a different future, you've got to build it brick by brick, decision by decision, with absolute clarity about where you're going and why it matters. Clarity is power. Without it, you drift. With it, you direct. A person who knows exactly what they want is unstoppable because clarity gives you focus, and focus creates energy. Most people don't lack motivation. They lack direction. They say, I just want to be successful, but they can't define what success means to them. They say, I want to be happy, but they've never decided what happiness looks like. You can't hit a target you can't see. So ask yourself, what do you really want? Not what you think you should want. Not what the world told you to want. What does your soul crave? What kind of life sets your spirit on fire? What kind of contribution would make you proud when you look back decades from now? When you get clarity at that level, you stop chasing everything and start creating something. You stop reacting to circumstances and start shaping destiny. But clarity without action is just fantasy. Once you see the vision, you have to move. You have to act, even when you're scared, even when you're uncertain, even when you don't have all the answers, because clarity expands through movement. You can't think your way into confidence. You've got to act your way into it. Every step you take reveals the next one. Life rewards action, not hesitation. There's a part of you that already knows what to do. You felt it. That instinct, that pull, that whisper that says, I'll go for it. But fear drowns it out. Fear says, what if I fail? What if I'm not ready? What if it doesn't work? But what if it does? What if everything you've ever wanted is waiting on the other side of one bold decision? Fear is not a stop sign. It's a signal that you're stepping into growth. The presence of fear doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. It means you're on the edge of transformation. When you start designing your future, you have to lead your mind, not follow it. Because your mind is wired to protect you, not to progress you. It will always look for what's wrong, what could go wrong, what might go wrong. But if you let fear lead, your dreams will die in the name of safety. You can't create an extraordinary life while clinging to ordinary thinking. So, you've got to condition your mind daily, feed it with vision, discipline it with focus, stretch it with possibility. Every future is built twice, first in your imagination, then in your reality. The thoughts you rehearse become the life you experience. So if you keep imagining failure, you're rehearsing defeat. If you keep replaying pain, you're reliving limitation. But if you start visualizing the life you want, feeling it, seeing it, believing it, you're programming your brain to make it real. The body follows the mind. And once you know what you want and why you want it, you've got to create a strategy that makes it inevitable. Success is not about luck. It's about structure. It's about aligning your habits, your environment, and your energy with your vision. You can't keep saying you want to change and keep surrounding yourself with people and patterns that pull you backward. You've got to upgrade your circle, your standards, and your state. Your circle matters because proximity is power. If you spend your time with people who are complacent, you'll normalize comfort. But if you surround yourself with people who are driven, hungry, growing, you'll rise. You become like the energy you're around. Your future will either expand or shrink based on who you allow into your environment. So choose wisely, and your standards, they define your future more than your goals. You don't get what you want, you get what you're willing to tolerate. The moment you raise your standard, everything shifts. You stop accepting excuses from yourself. You stop negotiating with your potential. You stop settling for good enough when you know you were built for greatness. That's when momentum begins to build. But let's be honest, designing your future doesn't mean it's going to be easy. You're going to face obstacles, delays, and setbacks. There will be moments when nothing seems to work, when people doubt you, when the vision feels too far away. But that's where your clarity and commitment get tested. Most people give up not because they can't reach their dream, but because they lose sight of why they started. When your why is powerful enough, your how will reveal itself. The future belongs to those who are willing to persist. It's not talent alone. It's not luck. It's the relentless commitment to keep moving when it's uncomfortable. Every step you take, every small win, every failure you learn from, it all compounds. And one day, the vision that once lived only in your imagination becomes your reality. You can't design a future you don't believe you deserve. If deep down you think you're unworthy of love, success, peace, or joy, you'll sabotage it every time. That's why inner work is essential. You've got to clean the foundation before you build the house. You've got to replace self-doubt with self-trust. Because when you believe you're worthy, you stop chasing and start creating. You stop begging life for scraps and start commanding it with certainty. Destiny doesn't respond to wishful thinking, responds to decisive action. You can't sit around waiting for the perfect time because there isn't one. You can't wait for the fear to disappear because it won't. You can't wait for every detail to line up because life doesn't work that way. You have to move first. You have to leap. Because clarity doesn't come from waiting. It comes from walking. Every great transformation starts with a decision. A decision that says, no more excuses, no more waiting, no more letting fear run my life. I'm taking control. And that decision becomes the moment everything begins to shift. Because life doesn't change when you wish. It changes when you decide. But decision alone isn't enough. You need discipline. You need the consistency to do what needs to be done even when the motivation fades. The person who acts only when they feel ready will never reach mastery. Discipline is doing it because it's who you are now, not because you feel like it. It's showing up for your future self every single day. And here's the secret. When you live with clarity and take consistent action, the universe starts to respond. Doors open. Opportunities appear. People cross your path at the right time. It's not magic. It's alignment. When your intention, energy, and action move in the same direction, you become magnetic. You stop chasing things and start attracting them. Some of you are one decision away from a completely different life. One decision to stop living in fear. One decision to forgive. One decision to let go of what's been holding you back. One decision to finally go all in on your dream. You don't need another sign. You're the sign. You don't need more time. You need more commitment. Imagine what your life would look like 1 year from now if you designed it with intention. If you woke up every day with clarity, purpose, and action. If you stop letting distractions steal your destiny. If you stop letting doubt dilute your dreams. What would that feel like? Who would you become? The truth is, your destiny is not a mystery, it's a decision. It's a series of moments where you choose growth over comfort, faith over fear, purpose over procrastination. It's not about being perfect, it's about being persistent. It's about showing up every day and saying, I may not be there yet, but I'm not where I used to be. And I'm not stopping until I become who I was meant to be. This is your time, not tomorrow, not someday, now. Every second you waste in hesitation is a second you steal from your future. You've got one life, one shot to make it count. Don't drift through it, hoping for destiny to find you. Design it. Create it. Live it. Because destiny doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design.